That's definitely not how
That's
you
how
host
we
a
move on.
podcast.
Dude, October 5th, 1995. On October 3rd, O.J. Simpson was found not guilty of the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Rod Goldman. Woo!
Yes. And now he's on Twitter.
I love his tweets. They're fun and fresh, and I think he should do whatever he wants. A couple weeks before that, on September 19th, the New York Times published the Unabomber's Manifesto. Wow, this stuff is really bringing it back for me.
On September 26th, JFK Jr. launched George, a glossy magazine of politics and pop culture.
Yes, and in October 1995, the potato became the first vegetable to grow in space.
The number one song was Fantasy by Mariah Carey. The number one film was Seven.
This is
What's in the
also-
box? What's in the box? Open the box. Oh, what's in the box?
Every time I'm about to open my mouth, you say it. This is also the month Jennifer Aniston and Matthew Perry released a Windows 95 instructional sitcom. What? Let's find that.
Interesting choice of those two actors, Jennifer Aniston and Matthew Perry. Interesting you bring that up because we're going to be doing...
Well, hold on. This was also the year the Blue M&M was introduced, and I feel like that's key, crucial information to what we're going to tell you next.
Diesel segue. So going back to Jennifer Aniston and Matthew Perry, they were... Oh, here we are.
Oh, wait, here's their Microsoft sitcom.
Welcome to the Microsoft Windows 95 video
It's 29
guide.
minutes long.
This unique program.
My dad. Microsoft's fifth floor. Ladies' modems, children's shareware, and our bridal peripheral salon.
Wow. Taskbars and email and shortcuts, oh my.
Taskbars and email and shortcuts, oh my.
This was before those $1 million
Taskbars and
paychecks, where they would have definitely said no to this shit.
Email and shortcuts, oh my.
Well, yeah.
The Wicked Witch of Windows 95.
Okay, Myra, I'll get back to you, darling. All right, bye-bye. I heard that, and you are?
This is Jennifer Aniston. I'm Matthew Perry. We're here to see Mr. Bill Gates about a possible starring role in the video guide to Microsoft Windows 95.
Holy shit, I
he's
don't think there's a more
outright shady, but do
90s
you
thing
believe
than
he's
this
outright
currently. It's
Out.
Microsoft 95 starring Aniston
That was
and fucking
truly
Perry.
bananas. I'm guessing they were paid $30,000 max each.
Oh my God, that's like our Raised by TV episodic. And we
Okay.
don't split it.
This, no, we
30K
don't
each.
split it. We do whatever we want. We get paid the big bucks. And that's just what we never do a Microsoft commercial. We would never.
Unless Microsoft wanted to,
I mean,
in
if
which
they wanted us
case.
to, yeah. We never would because it's not.
I would do a
it's illegal.
$400 non-union Microsoft
I
commercial
would
tonight.
do anything for them now, nude or not. I'll do whatever you want.
I'll do one take nude, one take fully clothed, and you choose in the end.
One take backwards, one take forwards. I'll do that. That's-
You edit together. I don't know how you guys do these things.
I will do that for you. How many times do I have to scream it? We watched a lineup from October 5th, 1995. This is a must-see TV lineup.
Thursday night NBC.
The classics. I mean, how old were you? I was brand new 10 years old.
I was 13. I was
Okay.
big. I had a Smelly Cat T-shirt. I was big into
Wow.
Friends. My aunt called me Chandler because she said I reminded her of Chandler.
That's really kind.
Yeah, it was one of the nicer things anyone in my family's ever said to me. It says
Well-
more about what they're saying regularly.
I was really fascinated about this lineup because, you know, when you think back to the days of must-see TV, in your mind, it's like every episode's a hit.
Yes.
And I think this lineup was truly it was like pretty good. Like, well, we can start with Friends. Let's
start right away with
Friends. It's called, this episode was the one where Heckles dies. By the way, because back then you didn't know what the title of the episode was, this would have given away what happens in the episode. But I mean,
Right.
it's like
It
5
happens a
minutes
minute
in.
to- yeah.
But still, I just thought it was like interesting that we don't usually have the title back then.
Yeah, even like with the TV Guide channel, it never really, it would just say like new or whatever.
Yeah. So this.
But that's Larry Hankin who plays Mr. Heckles, the guy from, he's like the Breaking Bad dude, and he's in a bunch of shit.
Was he on Seinfeld too, though?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's been like on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays the neighbor beneath Monica's apartment, and he is mad that they are so loud all the time. And he always comes up and complains, and they hate him. And then he dies, and they find out in his will that he left his entire apartment to them.
And he's like a hoarder of garbage.
And yes, of course. They think it's going to be like a lot of money, and then it's quickly revealed it's not. I will say, like, this episode, this was a season 2, episode 3. They're still finding their footing as a show.
Yeah, Phoebe's not as weird yet.
There's a solid, like, 3-minute gay joke at the beginning, which, let's play it. It's weird. It's
The
so
Adam's
weird.
apple thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great kisser, but she had the biggest Adam's apple.
you or me. I got it.
I thought they let it go.
Women don't have Adam's apples.
That could be like it could have ended there.
I thought,
it could end here.
And then all the girls show their necks.
You guys are messing with me, right?
God, he's so fucking handsome.
I know, he's so hot.
I like forgot how good looking he was.
I was like, whoa.
That was like the whole.
That was
opening
6
basically.
beats.
Yeah,
and that'll be a common thing. We'll get into it a little bit in Single Guy and a little bit in Caroline in the City. This was the 90s. This was peak gay panic. Like that was like the joke always.
But it's so weird because it's like it's gay acceptance on one level because it's being talked about a lot more and there are gay characters.
Yeah.
But there's still but I'm not gay. It's like this weird like distinction that they have to make. And even right there, it's like that joke, honestly, could have been like it wouldn't have been as horrible if they didn't do the following like 5 beats.
Right.
Like,
if they just
if he had just said like, oh, she had the biggest Adam's apple, and they're like, huh, and then they move on. It's like,
right, and that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
But no, you got to get to 22 minutes. So let's hit this 6 more times.
And there was like a lot of the characters still finding themselves. In this episode.
Chandler's not as like witty or Barbie.
Yeah,
but his thing is that he has like finds faults in women, which is not an ideal trait for a character you want to
explore.
You want to like support or watch.
Yeah.
You're like, he's our protagonist, and he's like, I hate this bitch because her head is big. And you're like, oh, okay, maybe we should.
And even like Ross and Phoebe, like Phoebe says she doesn't believe in evolution, and then Ross spends the whole episode solely trying to convince her that evolution is real because he's a paleontologist or whatever.
Yeah, but that was oddly topical and zeitgeisty for it to be like 95 and they're talking about not believing in evolution. I'm like, I can't believe that's still an issue now.
I agree. I just felt like both of their characters were really not like clearly hammered home. Like it was like she's a little dumb and he's very sciencey, but like it wasn't like their mannerisms. Like I found it interesting that they hadn't really cashed in or like like honed in on what their
and he's not with Rachel yet, and Chandler and Monica aren't together
and
yet.
So much of what makes the show compelling later is that they start to have relationships with each other.
Yeah,
and in these early episodes, they're all just dating randoms, and it doesn't work out and whatever.
We
and
do get a Janice appearance in this episode, though, which is pretty wild.
I was really confused by it because she's pregnant and married in the episode, but I swear like he's with her in later seasons, or am I just making that up?
I don't know. Was she only, because this is season 2, right?
Yeah.
So is she only in the first season? I feel like I remember her being a way bigger part, though.
I remember when she was on Oprah Winfrey Network show, Where Are They Now? It was like fairly recently, and they showed like what she's up to, and she like teaches yoga classes in the valley and stuff. Like she's like fully just like a woman.
Sounds like a better job.
Doing it up. Yeah.
Although I love
and she's Janice forever. She's Janice forever. I mean, like, you can't forget the classic character.
That character is so good.
Yeah.
I like when Janice walks in pregnant at the end and Matthew Perry hits her with the, oh my God. Did you think that there would be, we're jumping around a little bit here, but did you think that there would be a joke at the end as he shut the door to the apartment? I thought there was going to be.
The end. Let's get there in order because.
Okay, yeah, let's hit some stuff in the middle.
They go to the apartment of Mr. Heckles or whatever, and they can't believe that it's so shitty and full of crap. And they're like, oh, he actually did hate us. He wanted us to like have to suffer and deal with
they're in
shit.
the big book of grievances, which is an actual thing he has, and it's like an actual book.
There's another gay joke in there, and this one's really weird because it was actually just I feel poorly written because find when they're looking at that big book, they're sitting on the couch.
Hey, there's me. April 17th. Excessive
gay roommate,
noise.
yeah.
Italian guy comes home with a date. Yeah. Hey, Chandler, look, you're in here too.
Like, how does he
April
know?
April 18th, excessive noise. Italian guy's gay roommate brings home dry cleaning.
Like,
it makes no sense that Joey.
You're in there, and yet none of them had read it, and then they're all surprised by what he reads. It's just
so
like
Joey
a bad joke.
Joey read Italian guy's gay roommate and was like, "Oh, Chandler, you're in here."
But then he's still surprised that it says gay roommate. It was just like, it was just bad. It's bad execution. And then in this moment, like Rachel decides she wants. This is where I'm like, Rachel's character hasn't been defined at all because she wants this really hideous lamp that the guy has in his shitty apartment, and like Monica's like basically comes down to them saying, Rachel being like, you still think of this as your apartment, it's not my apartment yet, and it's your apartment, I just live here. And so she's like, let me have this lamp, and it's so ugly. And I'm like, Rachel is like later known for like her great taste. Like,
I know, she's like,
she works at Ralph Lauren, like it's just like, this is the ugliest lamp I've ever seen, not even on a kitschy level, like it's just nothing, it looks like a pile of shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why is that her deal? They just wanted a plot.
I think they're just playing Monica's game of being uptight.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like her character is the one that's the most, but she's not even the crazy uptight. Well, I also think too, sorry, I'm jumping around in my sentences, but like shows like this, like simple classic sitcoms, like it's like by season 5, they're too much their characters in my book. Like they're like less real, and everyone is just like a crystallized version of their game of like, it's me, Long Island.
I know,
like,
but in some ways, I love
like
that.
It. Yeah. But it's. I think we're so used to that watching this, where they're just sort of like weird people interacting with each other.
Yeah, it's more unfamiliar, and they don't even know each other that well. Like it's interesting though, because when you jump to the next episode that we have, which is the single guy, like you go, okay, well then the friends characters were very established, because the single guy, I'm like, these characters are nothing. You have
no idea.
Why are they friends? I don't understand what's keeping them together. And I mean,
before we get to that, let's just watch the last moment.
Okay,
of
so they're cleaning out his apartment, and they go through this. Basically, Chandler goes through this whole thing over the episode where he doesn't want to be like Mr. Heckles, because he's as annoyed by people as Mr. Heckles is.
Right.
And so he's just like, I got to change my ways. And
Mr. Heckles was like class clown, and everyone called him funny in his yearbook, and he ended up being an old, lonely curmudgeon.
Yeah, so he's like, I can't dump girls for no reason. I have to like have a reason. So then at the end, he is cleaning out. He's the last one leaving the apartment, and then it's this.
He's already decided to keep the yearbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a second.
The broom is the only thing left somehow, the thing that he would hit the ceiling with. Chandler puts it against the wall, gives a longing glance.
Here's the line. Promise to keep it down.
We'll try to keep it down.
We'll try to keep it down.
I'm waiting for an undercut joke here, or for him.
Yes! I'm like,
how do you end a show like that?
There's no, by the way, like, there's no way that character's that meaningful at this point. It's 25 episodes
unearned.
in, and like, there's no way he's in more than 5.
Right.
Like, and he was an annoying character they hated. So he only turned in Chandler's mind to be something worth thinking about.
Right.
We have never seen this man be something that we should care about or be so sad that he died. He has no family, and he's a complete hoarder who left them a shithole mess to clean up because he hated them. And then he goes, try to keep it down.
Yeah, something was up when Ross is like, all right, we're getting out of here. He's like, I'll catch up with you in a second. Like it's like the
was
most.
Was this his dad? Like this. It's just so weird.
He's like nostalgic for something that didn't happen.
Yeah,
and it's so sappy.
So manipulative. I'm like, I'm annoyed.
Also, like the non-diegetic music, like all of a sudden there's a score into the sitcom.
Of course, you have to do like a joke with that broom at the end. Like,
right.
I mean, Joey should come back and be like, I want this too, or something. Because he was stealing a bunch of weird shit. It's just like, this is just so
I can't believe
schmaltzy.
This is how, when it was ending, I was like, oh, this is funny. What's going to be the thing that undercuts this? And then it just ends earnestly. And this is like, TV writers sometimes get in their own heads that they're fucking like, this is not Mamet. This isn't fucking Ibsen.
Nobody cares.
It's Bright Kelfman
and it's
Crane.
not even known as like a hit show yet. Like it was a liked show, but it's like you maybe earn that later if we've had that guy for 5 seasons, and so it's like, wow, we killed off a character that everyone liked or something. It's like this is so random.
And so then we're supposed to assume, and then there's a tag to this episode where Chandler is. Another weird thing where we're hearing his inner monologue, which is not a traditional sitcom.
Oh, they zoomed in on him, and some of the directing in this was the strangest compared to like the later episodes. They zoomed in on him like at one point, and it was bizarre.
Yes. Oh, yes. And then the end, it's just him going like, her head is big head. While this woman in an over-the-shoulder shot with a big wig on like a big block or whatever is just fucking rambling.
And not only is her head big, she might be 80 years old and have a big, gigantic white ball of a wig on. It's like, what 30-year-old woman is he dating that has that haircut?
This is like the girl he says who he works with that's beautiful, smart, funny, but her head is so big.
And the head is monumental.
It's insane. Yes, and I get, but he already agreed to go out with her. He knows her head is big. To sit there and go,
she
her head is big.
She couldn't get through the doorway. Her head was humongous.
She looks like that picture of Trump's mom, like where she's like it's like this weird bouffant on top of her head.
And there's also really weird cuts where like the camera's like coming from behind the women as they walk into the room, so it's like really their backs for like a long time. Like there's just a lot of strange things they haven't figured out yet.
Yeah, they like catch up to their speed and they figure it out eventually. It feels like,
of course, because it becomes like the best show ever that I can watch over and over again.
Were you a big Friends head?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would totally watch on Thursday nights. Like it was exciting. Like
yes, Thursday night television was like, and if my mom was home, she would even like, and she's not like a big TV watcher besides Dr. Phil. Yeah. She would be like, "Ooh, yeah, are we gonna put on Friends?" And like
it was family friendly. It was like the whole family could sit down and watch all the block and get something out of it.
Yeah, we were really big Seinfeld fans, but then Friends just like eventually caught on for us. Like, yeah, that's the power of the must-see TV. Is like you're like, I'm tuning in for Seinfeld. Oh, I guess I have to sit through Single Guy to get to Friends, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, I don't hate the Single Guy now.
So let's go to the Single Guy. It's with Jonathan Silverman, who plays a character named Jonathan,
who's a writer.
Yeah, like what is it supposed to be based on his life? Like maybe there's a wiki we can pull up and see a little bit about this show, because I'd like to know how many episodes it ran. I remember it for sure, but it's a weird one. So
did you find? I found
2 seasons, 44 episodes, and did Jonathan create it?
I don't think so.
Brad Hall. Oh, that guy. Wait, isn't he married to Julia Louis-Dreyfus? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so her husband created the
that's crazy. So
that's interesting. I didn't really know what his deal was.
Well, that's very interesting because that shrinks the world of must-see TV a little bit.
Totally. So like, he created a show, then his wife was on the show right after it. That's a great family night.
They're making some fucking money.
Fuck, that's awesome.
Finally.
I mean, thank God.
I think JLD is also like her family's like famously rich.
Yes, they are. But she's made her own way. She's
had 3 wildly successful sitcoms that she was the lead in.
She's made she's won Emmys for every show she's ever starred in.
Yeah, but I don't think a few people have done 3 different long-running shows where they were both critically acclaimed and like popular.
She's definitely in a class of her own. Like, I mean,
she's the best.
Yeah, and I can't wait to talk about it because I rewound so many moments of that show just to watch her over and over again.
I forgot. Like, I had a mega crush on her. She's so hot. Let's talk about Single Guy.
Okay, of course we want to skip it because it's bad. This is not a good show. Like,
I will say, I thought some of the jokes took swings for a 90s sitcom that I appreciated.
Yeah, the episode we watched is called Kept Man, and it's available on YouTube, and it was like the only episode ever available online of the show. Is that right?
So this one didn't officially air on October 5th, 95.
But we fudged it just to...
Because the Single Guy has been wiped from the internet.
Scrubbed. Much like Clipped, the show that I was on, this show is impossible to find a clip of. I thought it was really interesting to watch because it's basically like... it's like boring as hell. Like,
I found it interesting to watch because it's like boring as hell.
But I was like, this is on TV, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, they don't. When you compare it to Friends, first of all, and then you watch Seinfeld right after these episodes that aired at the exact same time, you go, this show was not mature enough yet. Like, it wasn't ready for prime time. This is like...
It's not ready for primetime player.
It's not. Because it doesn't... They're very simple with the storyline. Like, it's almost so simple that, like, you can't even be swept away in it. Like, he basically... The episode is that he's dating Maureen McCormick, who played Marsha on Brady Bunch back in the day. And she is so rich, and he's a broke writer, and she starts paying for everything. And then he just gets swept up, and he becomes her personal assistant, essentially.
I couldn't believe how big of a storyline the idea of women paying for shit was.
Exactly. Maybe that's part of why it was so boring to me, because
the B story, like, with the couple with the Asian woman,
it was still about that. It was about her being a breadwinner.
Yeah. And then the C story was a runner joke of the neighbor, the British neighbor or whatever she was,
which was so fucking heavy-handed. This runner was just like, here, let's play the beginning where we see the British. I think it's the first few seconds of the show.
Okay, so I'll be by tomorrow to peg you.
Yeah, I'll be waiting.
You might want to warn your neighbors. We're going to be making a lot of noise.
Really?
We could be banging all afternoon.
Jonathan's aghast.
I never knew that refinishing floors could be such a hassle.
So, like, basically, he keeps overhearing her having these conversations about her apartment getting redone, but he doesn't hear the part where she says what is happening.
Yeah, at the end, it's always like, and that's why we'll be late.
That's why you varnish, or whatever. But then, like, he's going like, wow, she's getting rammed by this guy every day. And I'm like, what is that joke? And what does that have to do? Like, it's like so different from the main plot point of like women earning money that like I don't understand why it's a runner since they don't really stray from that plot with the B story.
Well, for me, it was crazy when they're at the restaurant that they all hang out at called Bagels. When they go to Bagels and she's there. And I'm like, oh, she's in the friend group. She's not just a random neighbor.
So ask her.
So talk to you. Exactly. So I heard you were getting fucking pegged recently.
Yeah. You're going to be banging all afternoon with this guy. I truly was like, she's that woman too. I was like, she looks like Natasha Richardson / Téa Leoni. Like it's the vibe we were all looking for at this time.
She was definitely Dharma-esque.
Yes.
I liked the look of the supporting cast.
Me too. It was nice and diverse.
What's the biggest surprise in this show though for you? Ernest Borgnine in a doorman. I had no idea he was in this show.
By the way, he looks like he's like a military man who's been like dressed with every fucking pin and button and whatever.
Yeah, he's a New York City doorman, and he's inexplicably in the movie, and he's in their friend group, or he's one of their dads because we only watched this one episode.
He's their doorman, I think. And I think he hangs out.
But he's at the bagel store with all of them.
Day. What, does he have to go work at the door? It was so weird.
And Ernest Borgnine is doorman Manny.
It's so simple. It really is just like an old-fashioned sitcom where they're like, you're friends with the guy who works at the restaurant, you're friends with the doorman, and you have a couple who are friends, and they come around. The couple was like, they had no personality. It was like their personality was like what they talked about, which was basically that like he couldn't believe like he also said dry cleaning in such an annoying way. Let's see if we can find it.
Oh, dry cleaners.
Yes,
I hated it too.
It drove me nuts in their apartment. Okay, it's when
here's the other thing I thought.
Couples in their
but
apartment.
Watching this right after Friends, while Josh finds that, watching this right after Friends, they have an old man in their peer group, an Asian woman, a black dude is their friend, a British woman. It's like this is wildly more diverse than Friends.
Wait, pause it. I saw back where it was.
Oh, that's the other thing, that the YouTube rip we had commercials in it, and I was like, holy shit, I watched a Bear paint commercial from the 90s.
Here, right here.
What did you pay for?
Books, pizza, your car.
Please, it was just a Pinto, and I paid for my own gas. You paid for the gas?
How did he not remember paying for the gas in his car
How many
in
other
college?
people know about this?
Just our accountant. And the bank. Oh, and the dry cleaner.
The dry cleaner?
He asked. Sam, it's no big deal.
Here comes the weird breed.
What if I make more than you?
$260 a week more.
$267 after taxes. But who's counting? Come on, this means nothing. All right, you have a good job. You make good money. I love you. Now put that stuff away. You don't understand it anyway. Let's go to bed.
How do you expect me to sleep right now after I know I've been humiliated in front of our dry cleaner?
Dry cleaner.
Bananas. Carolina in the City also had a really weird pronunciation at a weird stress at a certain point, which I'll point out because I was like, "What is that? Was it a 90s sitcom way of like saying it? Like for our dry cleaner?"
Yeah, or it was just like weird choice. People just making bad choices as actors,
and no one like says like that's not how you say dry cleaner.
Wait, also, isn't this the dude from the Milk commercial, Aaron Burr?
Is it? No, I don't think so.
I think it might be. Can you search Milk Aaron Burr?
That's a classic. No, it's not.
No, it's not. It looks like it. Just a weird bug-eyed actor guy.
Well, let's watch this.
No, it's not him at all.
I want to watch it, Josh.
And that was the Vienna Wood Dance in D, one of my all-time favorites. And now let's make that random call with today's $10,000 question. It's a tough one. Who shot Alexander Hamilton in that famous duel?
Wow, we all know this now because of Hamilton.
All right, let's go to the phones and
my favorite hip-hop album.
You're so hardcore.
Hello, for $10,000. Who shot... Excuse me?
I truly would have pulled that sandwich out of my mouth so fast. It would be on the floor.
It's a very weird conceit. Like they call you to ask for trivia. Like
and
he happens.
By the way, it's a minute long. Why is it so long?
Yeah, that weird establishing of his apartment and stuff like that. Well, Can you look up where that guy from Single Guy, what else he's in? Because he seems so familiar. Like
he definitely did. Well, and his wife went on to be on ER for like 100 episodes.
That's where I know her from. Ming Na Tren.
Oh, he's from Chicago. His name's Joey Slotnick. Give me a filmography.
Oh my God, he's in A League of Their Own? Who is he in A League of Their Own?
Classique. He was on Boston Public. Yes, that was another one of these shows. Actually, interestingly, since I mentioned Clip, Boston Public was created by the creators of Clipped and Will and Grace, which are the same people.
Oh, that's amazing.
Max Muchnick and David Cohen. Yeah. He's been on a lot of stuff.
That's okay. I'm trying to figure out where I know.
They're making a Goldfinch movie, and he's going to be in it.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, that'll be huge.
He's coming around.
I'm happy for him. Everyone was good. It's just like it's just like the most basic shit ever.
Yeah, the whole dinner scene between Jonathan Silverman and his date, where she's like Maureen McCormick.
Yeah.
She's like ordering food and he's like trying not to. It's like it felt like a Saved by the Bell.
And I was like,
this is an adult comedy, and it feels like Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, like he's like the waiter's like with his horrible accent, like, would you like some champagne? And then the guy's like, no champagne. And then she's like, I get it. You're an alcoholic. And he's like, no, I'm broke. And it's like, it took us 10 minutes to get to that.
Also, we'll get to it with Caroline the City. A lot of weird waiter voices.
Yes. Wait, let's go to Seinfeld.
Yes, dude.
This episode's a classic. It was the maestro.
Now, I want to say, because I think I always say this when we bring up Seinfeld, but I'm always surprised when I watch old Seinfeld episodes how storylines are in the same episode.
I know,
because I remember the coffee, I remember the maestro, and I remember the security guard's chair. Did not remember that they were all in one episode.
And that's like a lot of good shit in one. And also, like, okay, so
you're like, Seinfeld, Puffy shirt is also this one, and you're like, holy shit.
That's how good it was, though, because they were like, it makes the other ones look so simple because Seinfeld is managing 3 to 4 storylines that are unique and separate from each other, and yet the characters are still talking, and they all come together at the end. So it's actually a perfect Herald.
Seinfeld is a perfect Herald. You're welcome, America.
Actually, that's how I told my mom what a Herald was to be like, it's like a Seinfeld episode. They have. So a Herald is in long form improv format, which if you don't know.
Delco started the UCB4, brought it to New York in the early.
And but it starts with like an opening scene, and then you have 3 scenes that are separate, like 2-person scenes that are unique to themselves. Then you come back together for a group scene. Then you revisit each scene and do a second beat of it where it's like later with those scenes. And then another group scene, and then you do it again and you tie them all up at the end. Seinfeld does that really perfectly. Yeah. So it is like a great tool for understanding how it's like just good storytelling because you're compelled by all these different things that are happening. You're like really curious about like each character, and all the characters are so distinct and like
because it's also season 8, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's a great point. So like we're at season 8 with this show, but seasons 2 and 1 with these other ones, and it's like those are going to be more floundering.
This is like they've got this shit tight, and also. I forgot that Jackie Childs was in this episode. He's one of my favorite guest stars on the show. So funny.
And George, by the way, like made me like I rewound so many moments of this and was just laughing. Like there's a point where like George is like fucking Jerry's like telling him this really boring shit, and he's like like scintillating as always or whatever. Like, you know, he just like gets up and leaves, but it's not even like the joke. It's just like his character would say that and then he moves on.
That's the thing about this show that I really like is that Seinfeld is funny because he's a comedian.
Yeah.
But he doesn't get a lot of like when he does like jokes in the friendship, it's not played for like the big episode laugh, which I think is like wild. It's just like he has a really good one where George says something like I feel like I'm the people around me hate me or whatever, and he's like, how's it going right now? Like Seinfeld's like, you're pissing me off.
Yeah.
They're so good. This is the Maestro.
And so the Maestro episode is the one where Elaine's boyfriend only wants to be called the Maestro instead of his name, and she like forgets multiple times and he gets very annoyed. There's a part where go to the part where they're in there's a convertible outside.
When she starts singing the song, I lost my shit.
It's closer to the end. There we go.
Here you go, starting there.
Yeah.
Kramer's addicted to coffee. Wait, what is it?
Cafe latte.
Cafe latte is what they keep saying. Yeah.
Hey! Hi, Maestro.
You're driving a convertible in New York City. Something you would literally never do.
No.
It's dangerous.
Beethoven 7th.
Yeah.
Hey, we were just talking about you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the other day how you mentioned that there were no houses available in Tuscany?
Oh, right.
You didn't find one, did you? No. Not really looking. Nor should you. But are you telling me there is not one house to rent in all of Tuscany? The houses are passed down from generation to generation. It's very hard. I can't get a sublet, a guest room, a cot, nothing. It's booked solid.
It's booked, Jerry.
She's so good.
Got lucky. Come on, Elaine. Let's take a ride.
This is the best part of the episode.
Yes.
Some Verdi.
La donna mobile, qualche vento, muta d'argento.
Clearly, she's breaking Jerry.
She's laughing, having fun. It just feels amazing.
And she's not done.
Hey, George. Hey, you believe this guy? Bob Cobb.
Bob Cobb?
I watched that 5 times.
The maestro.
Why, Mr. Maestro?
Yeah,
This guy, Bob
there
Cobb.
were no houses anywhere in Tuscany.
I love this
Renting
part.
a house in Tuscany?
No.
So what do you care?
It's they're both, everyone is good at being small on this show except for Kramer, but he doesn't have to be.
Yes.
Yeah. But like, there's so much.
So what do you care?
So they use the whole Buffalo on this show so much.
Yes.
Like any other show, the Maestro dating Elaine would be like, he wants me to call him the Maestro, and everyone would be like, oh, you have to call him the Maestro. In this episode, the Maestro affects all the other storylines. He gives Kramer the bomb. He's fucking with Jerry over Tuscany, and that causes Jerry to have this insane third act scene where he goes to like an Italian mobster hangout. And
I always hated those types of scenes on Seinfeld.
Yeah, where they were like I love the George Steinbrenner stuff. But
I never really got it because I feel like I just didn't really get who that was supposed to be. Or like
legendary owner of the Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, I know it now, but when I was growing up, I was like, I can't see him, and I don't get it. Like, it's like
we liked it so much because we were just New York kids. And we were like, this is awesome, the Yankees. And it's like, I didn't realize how New York the show was as a kid. Yeah. The Maestro gives Kramer the bomb, gives Jerry Tuscany, and then like never really coincides with George. But George has the security thing. Like everyone has so much stuff.
And I mean, I also just say like with the George Steinbrenner stuff, like they're doing stuff that other sitcoms aren't doing. Like that's a character you never see his face. It's just a yelling back of a head. And then even like the lawyer character,
Jackie Childs.
Yes, he's like so big.
And it's so funny. It's the 90s.
Real.
He's doing
It's
Johnny Cochran. It's like
yeah.
the case just wrapped up like days before this ad.
And so like he's fully like he's this big character, but it's still really real. Like everyone's acting at like the top of their abilities. Like everyone's just fucking crushing it.
The moment when this features the legendary moment where the coffee company Java World or whatever Java Planet are discussing giving him $50,000 in free coffee for life because this was also a news peg item because a woman got coffee spilled in her lap from McDonald's and it was so hot it burned her thigh. This was like a big 90s thing. Yeah. And then they had to change all the lids at McDonald's, do all this stuff, and she sued McDonald's. So they're playing that storyline, and Kramer, the story, I was laughing so hard when the Kramer was giving the story of how he got burnt. He's like, so I was bringing it into the movie theater and I tucked it into my shirt, and it's like, it's so obviously his fault.
Yeah.
And then like Jackie's asking these follow-up questions that make it so funny. He's like, did you put the lid on? He's like, I did not. He's like, that's good. He's like, what? So how? And Kramer bumps into someone with the coffee tucked in his own pants, and it opens up and burns him.
Yeah, and then when he goes to sue them, they start to offer him a deal, and they say, like, "We'll give you free coffee for life," and he's like, "I'll take it. I'm done." and then the lawyer's like, "Did I tell you to take it?"
Did I tell you to take it? And did the Maestro tell you to take it? Because the Maestro wasn't here. Like, because he's so mad about the Maestro. Because the Maestro told you to put the bomb on. What'd you put the bomb on?
Because the bomb takes away the scar from the burn. So funny. It's just great. But also, I do think that's such a great thing to point out that like this was so far into their series at that point that like when you watch a night of TV and you like shit on one thing but then love the next thing, it's like you're not necessarily giving credit to the fact that like one of these shows is really established.
Right, you're like, Single Guy's not as good as Seinfeld's.
Yeah, like,
we just watched Seinfeld's 150th episode.
Like they figured it out.
Yeah.
Because the first episodes of Seinfeld suck.
Yeah.
And they're famously like weird and bad.
God, this is the show when George wants to, he has to go clothes shopping. They go to his wife's uncle's house.
We haven't even talked about that. George has a whole great storyline. That's so funny.
And when he gets the red shirt, he's like, I don't like the red shirt. It's too flashy. And she's like, oh, Jesus Christ, George, whatever. What great writing for that character, because you hate her and you feel bad for her at the same time.
Go to the beginning where he's wearing the red shirt in the booth with Jerry, because it's really funny.
Yeah, I was going to just tell that joke incorrectly, so we might as well just play it.
It's an orchestra.
That's a very funny. Can you pause it real quick? That just reminded me. One very funny gag is when they call him the maestro. He's a conductor, and Jerry goes, he does the Police Benevolence Association. He's the PBA conductor. Once a year he works as the maestro, and he insists on being called the maestro. It's such a funny reveal, and the way Jerry says it. Sorry, go back to it, Josh.
Fast with Elaine.
Oh, you should see him do Flight of the Bumblebee. Just.
He's so good at that, whatever that bullshit is.
I know.
Yeah, you like it?
No, not particularly.
Why, the color?
Yeah.
Too flashy?
Yeah, it's burning my retina. Susan picked that up for you, right?
No.
All right, what's it gonna be here?
Let me ask you something. When you go into a store, does it bother you that they make the security guard just stand there all day?
No.
It didn't bother Susan either. That's why I'm different. I can sense the slightest human suffering.
Are you sensing anything right now?
Yeah, that's the joke I was trying to remember. That's so funny. And George's shirt is just like red.
Oh, red shirt.
It's not funny.
Wait, keep it going because I feel like it's the joke that I wanted to quote earlier. I poorly quoted.
Let me just say this. It is inhumane to make a man stand on his feet in one spot for 8 hours a day. Why shouldn't he have a chair?
Well, what about criminal activity? He's got to be alert.
Well, he can't jump out of the chair? How
Here,
long
watch
does that
this.
take? Yeah, look at this. Here, watch. Criminals! Boom! I'm up! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
Maybe they offered him a chair and he turned it down.
Would you get out of here? Who's going to turn down a chair? I would be very interested to know how he felt about all this. Maybe I'll have a talk with him.
I know you will.
Okay, it's not the part I was saying. It's still funny.
It's when he brings the security guard the chair, and security guard's like, "Did Mr. Cole say this is okay?" He's like, "I'm his nephew." He goes from being he's married to his niece or engaged to the niece, and then he's like, "I'm his nephew." And then the third time he says something, he goes, "I'm practically gonna own this place someday, so you better start treating me with some respect." He like heightens his own world so much.
I know,
it's so much.
it's so funny. Like, can you imagine getting to be on a show like that? That's like so fucking funny.
Where you're just so protected, like the writing is so
It's
tight,
so
everyone is
good.
so good. The kicker for George's story is that the security guard's asleep and they're being robbed at gunpoint.
I know, it's
That's
so good.
fucking funny.
And the background, people are like kind of smiling, which is
Yeah, it's very weird because the crowd's going apeshit because
it's
the
hilarious.
studio audience loves it. You guys were a big Seinfeld house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seen it all.
My brother still DVRs the 2 reruns that are on like
Wow, that's
11.
real commitment.
Yeah,
because I feel like now I'll just catch it if it's on. Like I'll happily watch it at any point. But
if we're just like kicking it in my brother's living room and one of the kids isn't like monopolizing the television, we're watching Bippy or some fucking YouTube bullshit. Blippy, I hate that fucking guy. Look up Blippy on YouTube.
I've never heard of Blippy.
Yeah, Lapkus, this is a character. We should do a parody of this character. Blippy visits the zoo.
So much to learn about, it'll make you wanna shout, Blippi!
Fuck.
Hey, it's me, Blippi! And today, I'm at the Phoenix
Okay, it's a
Zoo
grown man whose
in
voice
Phoenix, Arizona.
probably doesn't sound like that.
I think you and I should learn about some animals today.
5.1 million
I'm
views.
depressed and sad.
He's got so...
I hate watching him.
Look at the other ones.
lot.
58 million views, 21 million views. Like...
What year was this made?
This year.
It looks like shit.
is
And
a
I'm
howler monkey.
it honestly looks like they didn't shoot it with like a good iPhone.
Yeah, it looks like it's shot on BlackBerry.
Yeah.
That is Bilbo, named after Bilbo Baggins.
What the fuck is up?
This is one of my
What is
nephew's
this
favorite
guy's-
shows. This is a
Of
fucking
course
nightmare.
it is. What is his deal and how much money does he make doing this?
He must make an absolute fortune.
Blippy net worth.
But here's the craziest thing about Blippy. The backstory of Blippy, it came out recently and I was so happy because this shit is on and at my brother's house all the time and we hate it. And I looked up, found out Blippy got caught like shitting, yeah.
He's a former gross out comedian known as Steezy Grossman who gained viral notoriety for defecating on his friend. Oh, I think I saw this
for
on
defecating on his
Twitter.
friend, for shitting on his friend on video.
Of course he did. He's a sick fucko.
Yeah, so he clearly doesn't care about children's entertainment. He's all about the money.
He's 3 years younger than me, which I don't even know what to do with it. Anytime someone's younger than you, it's like...
Yeah, when they're younger than you and so obviously a millionaire.
Yeah, I'm like, but I don't want to be a millionaire for going like, oh, let's go, Blippy, look at a monkey. I clearly can make a lot of money doing that.
I think kids would like that show. Does it say how much money Blippi? I mean, you could assume he's got such a fucking huge following on YouTube that he can make a money.
Well, he's in talks to develop a Netflix show and do a live show.
Ugh, and he's got I'm assuming he's going to have an Earwolf podcast soon.
They love Blippi. Josh has been noticeably silent during this part.
Well, Josh is silent because he doesn't know what we're talking about because he's sitting on his computer watching Blippi clips with his headphones.
He's like, finally, talking about Blippi. He just throws it to the screen. Let's get to the last episode we watched last night for our must-see lineup, which was Caroline in the City.
Oh, man.
This was called Caroline and the Gay Art Show. Now, this episode, I watched Caroline in the City for sure, all of it. I was very confused because the second this character comes in, Caroline's friend, I'm like, oh, her gay friend is here.
Yeah.
And then the whole premise is that she basically helps him get his art put into an art show. And then they find out it's his first art show, but then they find out that the gallery owner only puts in gay artists and thinks that guy's gay. And then he has to say he's not gay. But I was like, this is a weird one of those things because I'm going, I think that this character is kind of meant to be gay.
Right. It's like, and it's weirdly progressive, but also at the same time, it's so dated because it's 1995.
Right. But it's just strange because this character, like, if he was on a current show, would be a gay friend.
Right.
It
Exactly.
felt like they were trying to like work around that and then be like, we'll have this gay episode, which is like all about all these gay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was weird because I was like, the second he came into the screen, I was like, oh, and she has a gay friend. I don't remember that. Whatever. Blah,
right.
blah.
He's an artist. You were like, oh, that makes sense. And then the plot of this episode is that he is straight.
Yeah.
Which
and
is such a weird.
And one of the big like laughs at one point is when like this really straight guy pretends to be his boyfriend.
Yes. And when they kiss, it gets the in-studio audience cheer, which was like a go-to fucking move back in the day.
For one of the strange ways to emphasize a word, find the scene where the messenger comes to her apartment. It's like, it's in the relative beginning. He like roller skates into her apartment.
And then also the guy on Single Guy who, when he's selling the Rodney Dangerfield things, I think is on skates too.
Oh yeah.
So 2 different rollerblades.
Oh yeah. Caroline's outfit is so current. She's like in the 90s.
Take one look
outfit,
at the Venus de Milo and say, hey, who needs arms with jugs like these? All right. Look, now keep him away from those. I'll be right back. I'm going to get the other 2.
Hey, Richard.
Hey, Charlie, one of my paintings is going to be in a show.
On Broadway?
Charlie, how could a painting be in a show on Broadway?
It all starts with a dream.
Okay. Here's the comic strip for the newspaper syndicate, and here are the Christmas cards for the art department. Okay?
Wow, cool painting.
That's Richard's.
Whoa, I just had this sudden urge for French fries.
There we go.
French fries.
I was at the urge for French fries.
It's so 90s. There's like gay panic jokes in all of these episodes, roller skates in all these episodes. But there's also like a weird subplot that Caroline got like a bad haircut.
Yes, and the whole premise is that her regular stylist gives her a bad haircut and she has to she gets a cut from someone else that's much better, but then she has to like break up with her stylist.
But then of course the stylist would be at the gay art show because he's a gay man in New York City and all gay men go to all gay events.
There's only 20 gay men and they're all there.
All stylists are gay and they're all going to be.
And then he gives her a quickie in the bathroom where he styles her hair.
Yeah, it's
really corny. But Leah Thompson, like, full on, I always just think like she's truly just the mom from Back to the Future.
Yeah, she's
to me, but I remember watching this show so much, but like I don't really remember her as being like the part that I was excited about.
I watched this. I used to watch the show, and anytime Caroline in the City comes up, I think to myself, I loved that show. And then I watched this episode, and I'm like, what did I love about this show? I have to watch, and like the only answer is like, do I watch 4 more episodes of Caroline in the City to sort out what I love about it, or do I move the fuck on with my life? But I will say, when Caroline shows up to the art gallery, her outfit is smoking. She's dressed like a Miami dancer. Yeah.
Well, it's so funny because when she came out, I went, she looks insane.
Yeah,
so we had the exact opposite reaction.
Well, she's dressed insanely. Like everyone, it's an art show. She's in like a short
lime green.
Yeah,
dress.
like that a dancer at like a Latin club in Miami would wear.
Yeah, and everyone else is dressed like in all black. It's like a New York art show. So then, let's go to the part where he's at the gallery and then the guy starts to pretend to be gay with him.
Yeah, that I know it's probably slightly problematic, but I thought it was cute because he's been sort of like touchy about being gay. He's worried that he's going to get hit on.
Yeah.
And then he starts to get mad that he's not getting hit on.
It's a pretty fun turn.
Yeah.
And then like
this actor is good.
He's great.
This character, he's good at it.
Oh yeah, no, though I thought everyone's acting was really great in the show.
And I forget this woman did so much that I like too.
Hey, where's Caroline?
I don't know. Why?
Those guys over there are about to buy my painting.
Get out!
I'm out.
Which is a joke they'd make 3 times during the episode.
This is great. If you can sell that for $20,000, no telling what you can get for the ketchup one. It's like twice the size.
Congratulations, Richard. Your nude female will now be reclining on Park Avenue.
Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you so much.
That guy's so real. I feel like he was like just a fantastic actor.
A forum where
we can talk about this because we're still
free from prejudice.
The fucking premise in which they get their friend's art in this show by faking choking, starting a conversation they recognize a gay gallery owner. They recognize a gallery owner by face, but not that he owns the gay gallery.
Right.
Here we go.
Oh boy. Look, Kenneth, I have to be honest with you about something.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. No, you don't. Yes, I do. Look, Kenneth, I cannot sell you the painting because he gave it to me on our 3rd anniversary.
So he wants him to be able to sell it because it's so much money. And a kiss on the cheek gets a woo.
You didn't think I'd remember it, did you? But I am perfectly fine with you selling it, honey. I don't need the painting. All I need is him. Del, what do you think you're doing?
There's
He's a little
the build up, the
uncomfortable
punchline is
with
great.
Public displays of affection. We have this fight all the time.
Del, can I just talk to you for a second, please?
Oh, sure, sweetie. By the way, he raves about you.
Del.
It's doing a good job of pretending to be a couple. I like that shit.
I'm not going to sell the painting. It's not honest and it's not right. Richard, if I could just argue the other side for a second. $20,000? Look, Kenneth, I have to tell you the truth. Look, I'm straight. You're straight? So this is how I find out.
It all played out really nicely.
I liked it.
I did too.
It built perfectly to that.
They did 70-something episodes of that show.
What?
And the woman you're thinking of is Amy Pietz, Pietz.
Oh, yeah.
She also went to DePaul, same school I went to.
Oh, fun.
But yeah, 97 episodes.
Jeez, that's so much. Good for them.
I know. I mean, that's why we remember it so well, I guess.
But this is from the first season, is the one we're watching, right?
I'm not sure what season
I think so. Yeah, Josh is saying yeah. That's this show. I thought had like some good realized characters, like, and I like that Caroline has a boyfriend to start with, so it's not about her finding someone.
Totally.
It's like it's fun that and she has like a dumb like jock bro boyfriend.
Yeah.
And like we have a slutty girl, artist type who's like a prick to everyone.
Yeah, wait, this is episode 3 of this show, which is really insane considering, fine, then it kind of makes you go, single guy, hey, you weren't cutting it. Right. This was 3 episodes in and it's got solid stuff.
It's clicking.
Yeah.
Leah Thompson is so fucking good.
Yeah.
And she's not in this episode that much.
Yeah, for a 3rd episode.
She had a great. I think Lord and Miller started out on this show too as actors. They played animators. I think they were animators for real, and then they played actors on this. They played animators on the show. Overall thoughts on our must-see TV evening?
It was fun to go down the memory lane with it and watch a full lineup. I enjoyed that. I feel like it gave me an appreciation for these certain shows. Like, I mean, truly, to go like that was episode 3 of Caroline in the City. It was totally, it found its footing really quickly.
Right. And the 90s is like far enough away, but not classic enough that things age poorly. Things weren't, it's not like
it's 24 years ago.
Right. But things that are 40 years ago, when you like watch Cheers, you could be like, wow, like that's 40 years ago and they're killing it. Like the 90s isn't that far away, and Caroline in the City hangs.
Yeah.
It slaps. It
fucks.
fucks.
It fucks. I fucks with that.
I fucks with Caroline in the City.
It's bae, and I love it AF.
We're trying so hard not to be stranded in the 90s. We're like, we're hip, we're young, we love bae. I'm all about who's your favorite candidate. That's mine too.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun. I want to watch more TV.
I know.
I love that for this job we had to watch 4 half hours ago from 4 different streaming apps.
I truly was like, last night I was like, oh man, I got to watch all this lineup. And then it was like, wee, like I was enjoying it a lot. Yeah. I had a great time.
I saved Maestro for last. And
then I did it in order.
Yeah. Oh, see, I just was like, I know it's going to be good, so I'll end on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I like to eat all my vegetables first.
That's so good of you. Well, this was
just my
fun,
meat left.
Gabrus.
This was fun,
You're the
Lapkus.
bomb.
You're bae.
You're bae AF.
You're bae AF.
All right. Love you guys.
I love you too, guys. Bye.